suckers. Gee, I wish I was big just once.
Pistol, you're really funny. You're really funny.
What do you mean I'm funny?
It's funny, you know? It's a good story. It's funny. You're a funny guy.
Well, what do you mean? You mean the way I talk? What?
It's just, you know, you're just funny. It's funny the way you tell a story and everything.
Well, funny how? Well, what's funny about it?
Nicky, no, you got it all
Oh,
wrong.
Anthony, he's a big boy. He knows what he said. Now, what'd you say? Funny how?
Just,
What?
you know,
Well-
you're funny.
You mean? Let me understand this, cause maybe it's just me. I'm a little fucked up. Maybe it's funny how? I mean, funny like a clown, like I amuse you, like I make you laugh. I'm here to fucking amuse you. What do you mean I'm funny? Funny how? How am I funny?
Just, you know, how you tell a story. What?
No, I don't know. You said it. How do I know? You said I'm funny. How the fuck am I funny? What the fuck is so funny about me? Tell me what's funny.
Get the fuck out of here, Nicky.
You motherfucker. I almost had him. You stuttering prick, you Frankie. Was he shaking? I wonder about you sometimes, Gabe. You might fold on a podcasting.
Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room.
You can't handle the truth. King Kong ain't got shit on me. I am the Lord.
I'm so much crazier than you.
I am the one who knocks.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Nice thing, big boy, huh? That's Brock. Fuck you.
Everybody on? Good. Great. Grand. Wonderful.
I just swallowed down the wrong pipe.
Welcome to Facing Off, a podcast where we take two movies we find to be similar in some way, and we compare, contrast, and rate them. I am your aging gangster of a host, Gabe, and this is my fucking wise guy of a co-host, Nick.
Oh.
What's up, wise guy?
Yeah.
You a
know,
good fella?
I really need my house painted, man.
Yeah. Oh
wanna
man,
come
I
over?
heard you paint houses.
You wanna come
Oh, I
over
heard
and
I
paint my
paint
house?
houses.
I heard you paint houses.
Cool, man.
how
What's
you doing?
going on, dude?
No, I asked you first.
I'm good. Oh, this weekend I went to this museum that I think you should check out in Culver City. Have you heard of the Museum of Jurassic Technology?
I have. I knew you were
Dude,
going to ask about this. What
it's
is it
the
about?
weirdest. I couldn't tell you.
What is
it's
it
just
about?
a collection.
What's that museum about?
It's a collection of a bunch of random scientific artifacts that may or may not be true, and they kind of make you question what's real and what's not.
What?
It's the weirdest place I've ever been, and the inside is laid out like a maze.
What? Yeah, I'm in.
Maze. Yeah, man. So
Dude,
it's,
I'm in. What?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay, I gotta
It's
check it out.
It's down Santa Monica.
When is free museum day?
I think that's Sundays.
No, there's like.
Oh, you mean
there's
like a special one where
day.
every museum?
Yeah, we'll
I don't
figure
know.
it
This
out.
one is $10, but
That's
you
not
could just
bad.
use your
I want to check
student
that
card.
out.
How's your weekend?
It was good, man. Just kind of, I don't know, even balance of working and not working.
And playing.
Oh, we recorded a podcast. With,
Yeah, that was super fun.
Movies that molded me.
Yeah, we did
That was
a
super
little
fun.
like Skype Zoom podcast with movies
Yeah.
that molded me, and I was a little tipsy for it. It was pretty fun.
You were?
Yeah, I wasn't as messed up
I
as one
don't-
of the guys on it. So you guys should check out Movies That Molded Me. It's a great podcast. They do really cool
Yes,
things.
super
and,
good people.
Omar, Chris, and Elizabeth, you guys are awesome.
Yeah.
And
that was a blast.
Yeah, we appreciated that. And also, shout out to the Oscars. My favorite Oscars of all time.
Yeah,
They
dude.
did the right thing. I mean, like, Renee Zellweger could have gone with not getting an award since she's already won one. She's had the worst speeches. Nobody saw Judy, and the people that did said it sucked. But you know what? Good for her. I don't care. Bong Joon-ho wins original screenplay, best director, and best picture,
Dude,
and best foreign film.
He's that boy.
He is that boy. I love that there was that one tweet that was like, this poor guy just wants his cocktails and you guys keep giving him awards. He made some funny drinking references
Dude,
in it.
oh man, that was awesome.
If you haven't seen Parasite, you should go and watch Parasite. It's amazing.
I just recommended it to the HR lady at work.
Hey, HR lady.
She was talking about how she didn't want to read.
I'm not HR lady. My name is Pam.
How she didn't want to read the subtitles, but she had a good reason. It wasn't like she's too lazy to read the subtitles. She made she was like, well, when I read a lot of subtitles, I miss the action. And I was like, no. The parts of the movie that
movie's engaging
you
enough,
really
yeah.
want to see the action, they don't talk much. Like,
No.
it's not.
Also, I mean, here's the thing. Bong Joon-ho said there's a world of movies out there if you can get over the 1-inch barrier that is subtitles. And there are incredible amounts of foreign films. I hope that we do some foreign films on
Dude,
this. at some
Parasite
point.
was one of my favorite things I've ever seen.
It's one of my favorite movies ever.
Awesome that it won.
Do you have any other shout-outs?
No, just movies that molded me. That seriously was a blast. Our episode comes out on February 21st. I don't know if Gabe already said that, but check out Movies That Molded Me. Check out us on Movies That Molded Me on February 21st. Sorry that oh, no, I'm not going to spoil it. Never mind. Not sorry for anything.
Well, I got a couple shout-outs.
Shout 'em
Billy,
out.
our boy, Billy Steger,
Bill?
said, great show, fellas. Everyone said you couldn't do it. Did I believe them? No, not for an instant. When they said it couldn't be done, I stood up for your honor. And by God, you did it. You really did it. And guess what, Billy? That's a backhanded compliment, but we still appreciate it.
Yeah, that's a super...
Thanks for letting us know that nobody believed it.
That's the most Billy thing I've ever heard.
Also, shout out to Aaron Lapping. He was really happy that we're going to do this episode today. So this one's for you, Aaron Lapping.
Oh, yeah.
Little punk. We are going to spoil the two movies. If you haven't seen The Irishman yet, I know you guys have seen GoodFellas. If you haven't seen The Irishman yet, I recommend that you go and watch it. It's on Netflix. And if you're too scared about the 3.5 hour length, just watch it in parts. I watched it in parts.
Google how to watch it in pieces.
Yeah. Let me Google this for you.
We kind of did that.
Yeah, I did too. I watched it in like 2 seconds.
There are certain times that you can stop it, and it's all good.
Honestly, I liked it. So
we took
let's see.
pee-pee breaks at those times.
Yeah, pee-pee your heart out. And also give us the synopsis of these two movies.
Okay, so GoodFellas is a Scorsese written and directed film. In GoodFellas, we follow Henry Hill's ascension to mafia coziness as he works for Paulie, a consigliere in the mafia. Through Paulie, Hill meets Jimmy and Tommy, his two biggest pals and trigger-happy confidants, and he meets Karen, whom he marries.
Oklahoma Kid!
Hill ascends the ranks to such a high point that when he's sentenced to serve some time in prison, he's basically just making really delicious-looking pasta with his boys for a few years. He and Karen hit their rough patches, of course. And that's downplaying it because Henry just keeps banging cocaine ladies and boozing with a couple of psychopaths.
Hey, cocaine ladies!
Tommy gets everyone in trouble by shooting too many important people, and he eventually becomes important enough himself for someone else to kill. After getting caught by the police for smuggling cocaine, Henry decides to trade information about the Lufthansa heist, the drug running scheme, and countless other lawless affairs for witness protection. Henry always wanted to be a gangster.
You fucking rat. Yeah, rat, Henry.
But his life as a good fella only resulted in anonymous living in a random suburb with a resentful wife who ends up leaving him anyways.
True.
What a schnook. The Irishman is a Scorsese newbie that tells the story of Frank Sheeran, a military vet who becomes a mafia hitman for the Bufalinos. Through the rank? What did I mean to write here? I just pulled an Omar, dude.
He went up the ranks. Ranking
As
file.
he ascends the ranks, he meets and befriends Jimmy Hoffa, a powerful union boss and a significant political figure. Frank loses touch with his family, including his daughter. As Hoffa gains more and more support from crime families like the Bufalinos, he grows closer to Frank and further from safety. Hoffa is overly confident and disrespects crime families after his return from a short prison stay. Again, Frank just grows further and further away from his family over time, and it's super duper sad, especially when it lasts 3.5 hours. When Frank learns he's been assigned as a triggerman chosen by the crime family to take out Hoffa, he acquiesces to the assignment. He takes out Jimmy Hoffa and paints the walls of a house with his own friend's brains.
Jesus Christ.
Frank and associates are convicted on various charges, but not for Hoffa's murder, which remains a mystery to this day. Frank and associates serve time, but Frank is released after many years to live out the rest of his days in a nursing home. Frank's Dada, Dada? Whoa, I got stuck in the in the Pesci accent. Frank's daughter, who cares for Hoffa, correctly suspects that Frank killed Jimmy. She cuts ties with him, and Frank asks for forgiveness in the eyes of the Lord.
Yeah, we're doing these two movies, obviously two Scorsese movies, and we're going to rank our Scorsese By the way, it's pronounced Scorsese for anybody out there who was wondering if it's Scorsese. It's Scorsese. But
Tomato.
Yeah, but both these movies are...
Daughter.
Same
thing.
Both about protagonists rising in the ranks of organized crime and then experiencing the negative consequences of those actions. GoodFellas is the first big, cool mobster Scorsese movie, with apologies to Mean Streets, which is good. It's just not at this level. And it's probably most people's favorite of his. And then The Irishman is his most recent, but it also exists kind of as a commentary on the movies that Scorsese made.
Yeah, definitely.
And a reflection of the issues of glorifying mobsters and the issues of slipping out of relevance and power with age.
Right.
So that's why these are fun ones to compare.
Yeah, and we're going to use our normal 1 to 7 scale. 1 is the lowest, 4 is the middlest, and 7 is the highest. We are going to use our normal 5 categories: acting, spectacularity, originality, eye candy, and legacy. Probably not in that order because Gabe comes up with the order before we do this, and I don't know what it is.
Yeah, sorry about it. Let's start it off.
We're going to try and do this one sort of quickly, right? But we might not.
As opposed to the movies.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see.
In stark contrast to the movies.
Well, let's start it off.
What
Nick.
is Umero Nuno, Gabe?
We will start it off with acting.
Acting.
Acting is a category
It's
where we
always
talk
acting.
about...
It's the only one I knew was coming.
It was either that or spectacularity. Acting is a category where we talk about the performances. So we talk about how good the acting was, and the character writing, and then if the director and writer gave the actors the tools that they needed to perform at the best of their abilities.
Yeah.
Let's start it off with GoodFellas.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a
off?
question. Did you give these the same score?
I might. I actually am going to maybe adjust.
You might. Okay, so I gave Irishman a 7.
Wait, we started with GoodFellas. All right, let's do Irishman.
Oh,
Yeah.
I also gave GoodFellas a 7.
Okay.
Which one do you want to start with? Irishman?
Let's start with The Irishman.
Irishman. Okay.
Yeah.
So I honestly thought Pacino should have won.
Yeah.
I don't know what you think about that.
I definitely think that.
I'm
He
fine
was
with
my
Brad
number
Pitt
one.
winning that award, but
It was like out of the supporting actors this year, probably my favorite was Song Kang-ho, the dad in Parasite.
yeah, but he wasn't nominated.
Exactly. But out of the ones nominated, I
probably
wanted
should've.
Al Pacino to win, but it was like an achievement award for Brad Pitt, and he was great. Don't get me wrong. He's amazing in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I just didn't feel like it was that crazy of a performance compared to just how he is in real life.
Yeah, I
And-
guess he does just play Hoffa. So Pacino plays Hoffa.
No, I felt like Pacino playing Hoffa is just like different than any Pacino we've seen. It's a little bit of the middle
Did I
period
say?
of his
Wait,
career.
who did I say should have won?
You said Pacino, and
Yeah.
then Pitt won, and so I was talking about how Pitt's performance
Pitt's
wasn't
performance
very far
wasn't.
off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying Pacino's performance
No,
wasn't
okay,
far off.
you
Yeah, I
idiot.
totally agree. I thought Pacino's performance as Jimmy Hoffa is like.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I thought it's unbelievable. I thought it should have won. I thought that Pesci was a standout. I have a soft spot for the man. It took Scorsese 50 plus tries to get Pesci to come out of retirement for this, and it paid off. I honestly don't think DeNiro is the best he's ever been.
I think that's why he didn't get nominated
in this movie.
He seemed like a shoo-in.
And I just want to mention that Anna, how do you pronounce her name?
Paquin?
Paquin? It's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, she's barely in it, and there was like people were like, "Oh, I can't believe,"
But that's
she's
why
like barely
she
in
was-
this movie. And Chris D'Elia was like, "Yo, she chose to be in this movie. She
It's
asked
why
to be-
she was chosen.
Yeah,
She was chosen because she's so good at nonverbal acting, and she's
better at nonverbal acting than verbal acting.
She is so good at nonverbal acting.
Yeah.
She is great in this movie. Obviously, no one could have directed this without Scorsese. And then just quick shout outs to Stephen Graham is always great.
Yeah, I want to talk about Stephen
Always
Graham.
great.
Yeah.
Ray Romano is fantastic in this. Bobby
I forgot about
Cannavale
that.
is one of my favorites. And Harvey Keitel is also pretty freaking great.
Okay, so
I don't think there are any nah.
I'm mostly
kinda
at your
guys in
level. I gave it a 6. I really want to highlight Stephen Graham and Al Pacino are both so good. If you don't know who Stephen Graham is, he plays Al Capone in Boardwalk Empire, and he's
Yeah.
also in Taboo and a couple other things. He's an amazing
I didn't know he
actor.
was in Taboo.
He's Atticus. He has like the tattoos on his head and stuff. Yeah.
Mm.
He just is incredible. All the scenes with them, Like the scene where they're in jail and he's trying to like work out a deal and Hoffa's just being an asshole to him, and then the scene where they have that lunch meeting and Hoffa continues to be an asshole to him and is like, dude, you're gonna get killed, is so incredible. I kind of wish that Stephen Graham was the one that was recognized as the second actor instead of Joe Pesci. I did think Joe Pesci was good because this is a completely different Pesci than we're used to.
Right.
It's cool and unique, and it shows how talented he is. I don't know if he should have been nominated, but it is interesting seeing these two movies side by side, Goodfellas and The Irishman, because of how
he's
like,
very
quiet and subtle he is.
Yeah.
I love the scene when he walks in and he's covered in blood and he just looks defeated and he just looks at his wife and then she just like understands and she's like, go take this off, I'll clean it or whatever.
Yeah.
I will say I feel that it was a waste of Jesse Plemons, who's one of my favorite actors, and I don't even know why the fuck he was in the movie. I felt like there could have been more with Anna Paquin. I like how it was.
I thought it was perfect how subtle it was.
I just thought there was so much with the girl, like when she was a girl, and it just felt a little bit less. But
that's what would happen.
I mean, the character writing for the leads was really good. I also think Harvey Keitel was kind of wasted in this, except for that one scene where he's like, "Do you know who else owns it?" And he goes, "No." He's like, "I do." "Oh, who else owns it?" He's like, "No, I do. I own it."
Yeah, dude. I just thought he was.
Yeah, he was funny. I just felt like it wasn't the best of everyone, except for Al Pacino.
That's fair.
The best of Al Pacino is Godfather Part 2, but this is like a close second to me.
Oh, man, okay.
All right,
okay.
let's talk about, that's a 6 from me and a 7 from Nick. So you gave Goodfellas a 7.
I also gave Goodfellas a 7.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to compare them, really.
Okay.
Like, I didn't want to, like, say that one is better, but, like, now that you're saying it, like, it isn't the best performances from everyone. But I don't know that it's the best. Like, Joe Pesci won for Goodfellas.
Yeah.
And he absolutely deserved it.
I mean, he's so good.
He's amazing. DeNiro is... I don't think DeNiro's the best that he is ever in Goodfellas,
well,
but
because
he's also...
it's not a leading role for him.
He's like a real secondary character.
Like, one supporting role that I think is amazing by Robert De Niro is, and he got nominated for it, is
Meet the Fockers.
Silver Linings Playbook. I think he's incredible in Silver Linings Playbook.
He is great. Oh, dude, he's so good in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Ray Liotta, like, I teetered back and forth, but he at the end, like, he's just Henry Hill. Yeah. Like, he makes you think that it's like an actual person.
Yeah.
By the end
he
of
is
it.
an actual person.
Well, yeah. But,
yeah, I know what you mean.
But, like...
You believe that you
I
fell
believe
into
that
the
Ray
character.
Liotta is Henry Hill. Like,
he has the most annoying laugh in the world. Ray Liotta. It's like, and his fucking rat teeth. But
that's going to really peak on the microphones, probably.
I don't even care. He's got great narrating voice, though. He
does. There are some times that it seems flat, and that's like one sort of knock.
Yeah.
Pauly is like, oh,
fuck you, pay me. You want to go to the laundry? Fuck you, pay me. I love that.
Like, Pauly, the actor that plays Pauly, is fine, but he works in that role.
Dude, I couldn't disagree more.
Okay, fine. And then there's one actress that I just want to point out just sucks.
You think Lorraine Bracco sucks?
No.
The main one? Oh,
no, she's fantastic.
The co-core?
No. The one that's in Entourage? She's good. Or the other cocaine lady.
No. She's the one that is the publicist.
At the end, the younger one.
I'm blanking on her name. She's
There's
a good
another.
actress.
Well, she's not a cocaine lady. She's a mistress in the middle. I forget her name.
The blonde one?
Yeah, she doesn't do much.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The one where Pauly sits her. No, they send her out.
Oh, right. And he's like, hey, man, you got to figure out your fucking life, dude. Yeah. They're coming to me. I love when Jimmy is like, dude, my fucking wife is coming to me. It's like so...
No, Lois at the end.
Oh, yeah.
She sucks.
Yeah.
But she just kind of sucks as a person, too, so it's almost like
I got to get my hat. It's my lucky hat.
Dude, she goes, I know what to do.
Yeah.
Ooh. And she goes like, dude, I wrote... DOOUUUU. She goes like, I know what to do.
Yeah.
Do. And I was like, oh, dude, stop it.
She did kind of suck.
That's it. That's all I got.
I mean, I like Ray Liotta. I think like he's really great in the scene when Tommy kills Billy Bats. Like, also Billy Bats is so similar to Billy Batson, the Shazam. when they do it at the bar, but then when they're eating dinner afterwards at Tommy's mom's place, it's like Ray Liotta's acting is so good.
A guy that was quiet like you.
He also is so great in the last third of the movie as like a druggie, and I love the way that they make him like narrate faster at the end.
Yeah.
Joe Pesci is amazing. If you don't like walk out of this movie only talking about Joe Pesci, you watch the wrong movie because he's just so good. This is his movie. But like he has more energy packed in him than any actor I've ever seen.
He's a psychopath in this movie. And
it's all about like little man syndrome for him.
So scary.
He's just like, it's insecurity and overcoming all of that with like rage and violence to get power. His acting in the scene when the guy at the bar is like, Billy Batts is talking about the shoe shining. He's like, go get your fucking shoe shining box. He does the full emotional range spectrum.
Yeah.
The first he walks in, he's insecure about it. And he's like, hey man, I don't do that no more. And then he's like, gets angry, and then he comes back and like kills him. And how fucking depraved he is when they kill the guy and they're cutting him into pieces, and they're like, hurry up over there. Like, it's so messed up.
Yeah, they're like making fun of Ray Liotta for barfing.
Did you notice that Robert DeNiro is Irish in this, which is weird. Because in The Irishman, they give him blue eyes to tell us that he's Irish, but he's just
Ray
somehow
Liotta's half Irish in this movie too.
Yeah, and then his like opening line is, "All right, the Irishman is here. Time to take all your guineas money or whatever."
Wow.
Pretty funny. He also was 47 at the time, and they laughably said at the beginning that he couldn't have been older than 28 or 29, which is like our age.
Yeah.
He still looks like more young instead of like the de-aging, which we'll get into in Eye Candy in The Irishman. I do want to say, I thought people don't talk about how good Paul Sorvino is as Paulie. Like, I think Paulie is incredible. The part when he scolds Henry after prison is like a really, really good scene about not getting into the drug thing. Also, there's this one guy named Frank Severo who's like, he's the guy with the thick eyebrows who's in Godfather that's like, hey, Grace de Mish, como se va?
Is he in this? What is he?
Yeah. And did you forget, dude, I forgot the fucking Samuel L. Jackson is in this.
What?
He's in it for a second. He's the guy, he's the Stax or whatever. And Joe Pesci shoots him.
What?
Yeah. The only black guy in the movie.
That's
Samuel L. Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson?
It's one of his early roles. So
whoa.
I'm going to give it a 6. I think it's really good. I don't think it's the best acting except for Joe Pesci.
6s.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You know what? I'm going to change it. I'm going to go with a 7. You get a 7, Goodfellas. I love that. All right. Let's move on to our next category. That was acting. Let's do spectacularity.
Okay.
Goodfellas.
So
Spectacularity is the engagement level, how engaged you were, whether you were distracted by runtime or whether you were looking at your phone a lot.
Why don't you start by talking about The Irishman?
Wait, you keep messing this up. All right, let's do The Irishman. No, that's fine. I got it.
Because I know what you're going to talk about, and I want you to lead with it.
So I gave...
Because I can read your mind.
The Irishman a 3 out of 7. Slightly below average. I think the thing is, the movie is absolutely absurdly long. It's too long, and the payoff is in the last 20 minutes.
Right.
It's hard to get through in one sitting. When I first watched it, I left my phone in the other room. I really wish I saw it in theaters. I think that would have like made the the eye candy elements.
It was playing. It might still be playing in a theater near.
It was playing for a while. I almost went to see it. I just think that you could be more engaged in a theater than you can when you're watching on Netflix and you can pause
out of your pocket.
Yeah, it's just long. When I first watched it, though, in the beginning, I felt so locked in the magic of another Scorsese movie. Like he just makes you feel like you're inside one of his movies. But that kind of burns out. All the stuff with Hoffa is like genuinely thrilling to watch. Every single scene with Hoffa is great. And the moment you know he's going to get whacked, like makes you need to watch the rest. It's kind of sad and it's just interesting, especially when Frank takes on the task himself. It's just really intense and disturbing. And he just like so badly doesn't want to do it, but he knows that he has to do it.
Right.
It's I talked about the theater thing. It's still, when you put these guys together with this kind of script, you are naturally going to be engaged. So it's only slightly below average. And I felt like it had a lot of super funny moments, like the one I mentioned with the I do, and the part when Hoffa like accidentally yells at him because he's yelling at everyone in the room. He's like, "You fucking idiots!" He's like, "I'm not going to take this." And Frank like walks out. He's like, "Hey, where you going?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "You just call me a motherfucker," or whatever. It was great. So I don't know. I gave it a 3, slightly below average.
Okay. I gave it a 4. I knew you were going to talk about how like the third act is really good. And like genuinely.
It's amazing.
Yeah. The lead up to Frank having to kill Jimmy.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about, right?
Right when it gets to that point, and then the rest of it. Everything with him, I think everything with him in the retirement home is fascinating.
Yeah.
It's like
totally.
different than any Scorsese movie.
Totally. And it's like the Hoffa story. Gabe just took off his shirt.
No, I took off my
really
sweatshirt.
weird.
Yeah, it popped up.
Threw me off, dude. I'm
Let me
aroused.
pop my shirt off real quick.
It's genuinely a good, cool story about Jimmy Hoffa.
Yeah, it really is.
Like,
I mean, I haven't
that's really
seen,
what the movie. Like,
have you seen the Jack Nicholson Hoffa one?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, me neither.
Okay, good conversation.
I was just wondering if it would be the same.
It's like it's a cool story about Jimmy Hoffa, and like I really am fascinated by what happened to him. And it's cool that how good Pacino is at playing Hoffa, but the movie's too long. Like I wish it was just a movie about Al Pacino playing Hoffa, because Frank Sheeran, Robert De Niro, is not compelling enough. He's a compelling character, but not really. It's like such a slow burn, and if you really like slow character building and really good writing, it's a great movie. But it's also 3.5 hours long. It should be.
It's 3.5
It's
hours
like,
long.
It sounds so cliche and annoying, but like there's no other movie I could think of that's 3.5 hours long that I want to watch.
Yeah, there are some. Like I really like watching the Godfather movies, and they're really long. But like, I don't know. I just feel like it needed to be a little bit more engaging in certain parts, and it was like. The problem with Scorsese later in his career, I got this with Wolf of Wall Street, and tell me if you agree. It feels like he just adds too many details. Like you could cut out details. And I don't know. I also think the CGI is just like the de-aging CGI is like
out.
really distracting.
It pulls you out of it. Let's talk about that really soon, but I gave it a 4.
Okay, fair enough.
And I gave Goodfellas a 6.
Yeah. Oh, 6. Nice.
What
Same
did you
with me.
give it?
I gave it a 6 as well.
Oh, okay. So I just want to highlight that the use of music in Goodfellas is
He's the best at music.
The
Scorsese.
best.
Yes.
the best. I don't even want to single out a
I wrote the
scene
same thing.
because there are so many that you just use music.
I like when he uses
perfectly.
the piano exit of Layla. He does in
Yes,
the
that's
credits
an
too, but when
amazing
it's
one.
showing all the people that Jimmy is killing, like when he's just
and when he
writing,
plays
like,
"Sunshine
taking
of Your
them all.
Love," perfect.
Yeah, amazing.
"Give Me Shelter," perfect in that scene.
So you got to see his documentary that he made called "The Last Waltz." For a lot of people, it's his best movie, even though it's a documentary.
Ooh.
It's about the band, The Band.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's the guy Robbie Robertson is from the band, the guy who does his like scores sometime. Anyways, keep going.
This is the big like thing though. There's Joe Pesci is such a compelling character, and Ray Liotta is at times such a compelling character that even if Goodfellas was 3.5 hours long, I think it'd be more engaging than The Irishman.
Yeah.
Because you've got this Joe Pesci character, and there isn't anyone that compelling in The Irishman, with the exception of maybe Al Pacino.
Yeah,
But he's
Stephen
not-
Graham a little bit too.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. It just doesn't have it for me. There's also these cool this happens in The Irishman too, but the way that Scorsese films deaths
Oh yeah,
in Goodfellas,
well, he changes it.
it's almost, I'll talk about it in Eye Candy, but it's almost like I'll save it. But it keeps you so engaged.
Oh, I totally agree, and I think that's gonna be a point of conversation between the two movies.
Yeah.
I mean, I gave it a 6 out of 7. It throws you right in to the movie at the beginning. They start with the scene with the trunk. That's like, it throws you right in, and then this will like kind of make or break whether you want to watch the movie. Watching a guy get stabbed with a kitchen knife and then shot a bunch, who's already bloody and in a trunk,
Dude.
is like, if you want to stop the movie because you don't like violence, That's fine.
I had the day off yesterday. I watched that scene. It was literally
So-
6:45 in the morning.
Yeah.
Because I woke up when Julie did.
That's
go to
like
work.
too early.
And I was like, oh God, I forgot that that's the first scene of this
Yeah,
movie.
that is like too
I was
early
like,
to be.
oh, dude.
But I love like right afterwards. It's just like as far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster. And then it's like the title sequence, and then it's like Henry's life, and you were just roped in. And it's such good storytelling that it keeps you engaged at every moment. It has a lot of narration, which normally is a problem for me, but I think it's it really works. It's not distracting. It more like tells you about the wise guys. And it's not like it's repeating stuff that you're seeing on screen, really.
Right.
There's so many montages, like in addition to the musical parts, and they're really aided by music. The scene, one of the most engaging scenes in any movie is the scene with both of the scenes with Michael Imperioli as Spider.
Oh my God.
I mean, Tommy saying he's like, I'm the Oklahoma kid. I'm Oklahoma. He's like, dance. And then he's shooting. It's like so fucked. But if you're not locked into the movie at this point, I don't know what you want from this movie.
I don't
it's
know.
so engaging. But then in the next scene, it starts to go way off the rails because then he kills Spider, and it's like such a fucked up moment. But you could really, Pacino's so good in that scene when he's just quiet. He gets quiet and he's just reflecting, and then Jimmy's egging him on, not knowing what he's gonna do.
I'm a good shot. What can I say? I'm a good shot.
Yeah, dude. He's like, I'm not gonna fucking clean. He's like, I'll fucking clean. I'll chop up the body or whatever. Dude. And then everything. It's like everything becomes really difficult to watch for the rest of the movie because Henry becomes a druggie. He has the scene. He has the scene with Karen, the like domestic violence. Dude, the scene. One of the most like heart pounding scenes is when Jimmy tells Karen to go down the.
Just there, and he makes that gesture.
He's trying to like kill
that gesture.
her.
He's like, it's there.
You don't even know if he is trying to kill her.
Just go around the corner.
Like I still wonder to this day if he was trying to kill her.
I don't think he is. He makes a funny face after.
I love the movie
almost
just for being.
Dude, he makes this face after where you like. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but it almost looks like he's like, dang, I probably should have killed her there.
Yeah. Yeah,
He's like,
he's like, oh man.
He's like, wow, she really thought.
She thought I was gonna kill her. Maybe I should have.
Probably would have been a good idea.
Yeah, I just love that this is a movie about like hyper-violence and a story of a guy in the mob, but it's also filled with just like riveting dialogue and crazy tonal shifts. Like,
amazing.
Like one example is the scene where they're setting the bamboo lounge on fire. And they're sitting in the car, and Tommy's talking about the Jew broad that he wants to like go out with, and it's just amazing. It's like almost Tarantino level dialogue.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh shit, and then we gotta go.
yeah, exactly. All right, so that was a 6 from Nick and me for spectacularity.
For Goodfellas. And a 4 and a 3 for Irishman.
Right. Let's move on to eye candy. Let's stay on Goodfellas, Nicholas.
Okay.
You started off. Let's talk about Goodfellas.
Dude, there's so many
candy.
walks in Goodfellas.
There's tracking shot walks.
There's a lot of walking, and all of the walking is so well filmed.
I mean, I have one scene I really want to highlight for being like one of the most insane tracking shots.
The Karen walking scene is horrifying, and all she's doing is walking, and the camera's just following her as she's walking.
Yeah.
And it's a combination of the acting and the way that it's shot that's just so...
Lorraine Bracco's so good in it.
She's amazing.
Did you ever watch The Sopranos?
No.
She's Dr. Melvin or whatever. She's
really?
She's his psychiatrist.
Oh,
she's like the third
that's
lead.
where I've seen her before.
Yeah.
Because I've seen some episodes, but I need to watch it. But
yeah, she's great.
it's amazing. It's horrifying. And then what I wanted to say before that I'm saving for now is that the way that brutality is portrayed is always quick and sudden and like almost like they sped up it's almost like they sped it up. Mm-hmm. It's almost like he doesn't film what's going to be shot. He films it 1 millisecond after it's been shot. Just like it would happen in like IRL.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, it's very quick.
Love that acronym.
Earl.
It's so like clean and sudden that it's like, every time someone dies, it's like,
it's really violent. It's really disturbing, and it's
because it's like it seems to me like there's a camera trick. I don't know if this is what's happening, but it's almost like he cuts to it with a very slight delay, so that you're like, like you hear the shot, and then you're like,
I know what you mean.
There it is. And I just think that it's fantastic. I gave it
interesting point.
I gave it a 6. I could give it a 5.
Yeah, I mean, so I give it a 5. This movie came out in 1990, so obviously it's
Yeah.
going to age a little bit, and I don't think it aged that poorly in anything.
No, Ray Liotta's supposed to be 21 in this scene, though, and I was like, okay.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Yeah, this was shot by Michael Ballhaus. He does a lot of Scorsese's most famous movies. I think he also did. No, he didn't do The Irishman because that was Prieto. But the tracking shot of Henry taking Karen into the Copacabana.
Oh my
is
God, so good.
unbelievable when it's weaving through the kitchen and stuff. I mean, it's amazing. I love.
Good call. Good
I
one.
love when Henry gets older and they take you through the bamboo lounge and they're introducing each character, and that's the part when he's like, "Grace de beige, como ça va?"
Yeah.
But they're saying they just like each of them has one, and they're like, "That's Jimmy 2 times because he always says things 2 times." He's like, "I'm gonna get up and go get the paper. Get the paper." It's so funny.
He has an impediment.
I hate the pointy collars on their.
Oh my
suits.
God, what is that? Is that a thing?
I don't
people
know.
did, dude?
It looks so bad. It always
so
distracts me in
long.
this movie. I've never seen it before.
like 7-inch
it's just
collars.
Italian, dude. The fast zoom-ins,
It's down to their nips.
like the
What?
fast zoom-ins into characters' faces, are really
Yeah.
cool. He has really good execution of like freeze frames in this too. It was made with a $25 million budget, which is fucking crazy because Irishman, which we'll talk about in a second, was made with a $165 million budget. This was $25 million and looks better. I have
Wow.
one gripe. There's one scene that really,
You have
really bothers
one
me.
grape? We're gonna need
One
more
grape.
grape. We're gonna need more grapes than that.
Oh, we're gonna need more wax. One gripe is I don't like when they show Tommy kill Stax, the Samuel L. Jackson's character.
Oh, yeah.
They show him kill him, then he leaves with the guy with the eyebrows, and then Henry narrates, and it shows the scene again, but in slow motion of him killing the guy. And just showing how violent he's getting. It's just
Okay.
bizarre to repeat a scene where you already left the scene. It felt like a mistake.
Okay, interesting. I didn't notice that, but that's a good.
It's good.
Point.
It's not my favorite filming, but I will say that that Copacabana shot is just like incredible. So that was a 5 for me and a 6 from Nick for Eye Candy for Goodfellas. Let's talk about Eye Candy with The Irishman. Why don't you start?
You want me to start? Okay. Okay. So I had a hard time here.
Me too.
I gave it a 4.
Same.
Okay. Cool. we're boys.
Yeah.
The framing of each shot, is obviously incredibly intentional. Like I don't think I've ever noticed editing before, but.
So it's the same editor. She was nominated. She's like one of the most famous editors in the world, Thelma Schoonmaker.
Okay. Don't think I've ever really noticed it before, but I noticed the editing is like markedly good in
Yeah.
this movie. The slow crawl to Jimmy's demise is beautiful, but the de-aging is just fucked up.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't work. Did you know they had a posture coach?
Yeah. Well,
What was he
He
doing?
didn't do anything right because I mean, it's not just that their face looks de-aged. Because at one point you get used to it. The problem is their bodies don't.
Yeah, they don't
operate
move the right way.
because they're like calcified or whatever. Like
And they had a posture coach, and I don't know what he
Dude,
did.
The scene when he's beating up the shop owner that's like abusing his kid or whatever, that like yelled at his kid, looks so dumb.
Isn't there technology to put his face on another strong guy's body?
Yes, there is. They did it with Army Hammer's face in Social Network
Yeah.
for less money, I'm sure.
Just do that.
Dude, I mean, the budget is $160 million. It's got to be a waste. The CGI is distracting, especially the blue eyes that they give DeNiro. Like, he couldn't wear, like, lenses in his
Yeah,
eyes.
that's
Why
so
did his eyes even
true.
need to be blue? Just tell us he's Irish. I think it would have been better in theaters. I think it would have. A lot of people said it wasn't bad in theaters. At first I didn't like the way that the violence looked. It was really quick and it was subtle, but it was until I realized how intentional it was.
I think that's Scorsese's.
Whereas Goodfellas is glorifying violence and stuff and showing it in really disturbing ways. This one's showing it. I watched this cool video about how it's like it's a retro way of looking at it and kind of like correcting himself and like making it less
Interesting.
disturbing. It's very fast. The editing is incredible. Like she just gets Scorsese. She does both of these movies, Thelma, Shoemaker. It's
she did both?
yeah, and I think she should have won the Oscar for best editing. It went to Ford versus Ferrari is really, really well edited. The problem with this is like you can't give editing at the Oscars because they love over editing. You can't give it to a movie that's still 3.5 hours long. Like edit some of that shit out. I gotta say the cinematography is incredible. It's Prieto. I'm pretty sure he's incredible. You just feel like you're in a Scorsese movie with his framing, like you said. The intense stills of a building or something is really cool that he does. He does this in Shutter Island as well. The shot, dude, the ending shot of him alone in the room with the door creeped open is something that's going to stick in my mind forever. It's the shot that everyone's talking about. It's amazing.
And
the way that they focus on his daughter's reactions when she's talking to, when she as a kid can tell the difference in morality between Hoffa and Pesci's character. And Pesci's so sad and like concerned. She's like, I don't know what it is. She doesn't like me. And she's scared of him because she knows this is a bad person. But Hoffa is like, Hoffa did bad things, but he was a better person.
And he's good intention for the most part.
Treated her like a grandchild, and he liked being like a grandpa.
Yeah.
And it's really fucking tragic because it gets to the moment with Anna Paquin, the most incredible moment by her when she walks into the room and she looks at the TV and sees that Hoffa died, and she just knows her dad did it.
Yeah.
And that's incredible filming.
That's that story, and just Hoffa's story is the best part of this movie.
It's so good. So I give it a 4. It's still kind of average for Scorsese, and
you just can't get over the
CGI and the de-aging.
It's just not.
Well, let's move on to the next category. Yeah. Let's do originality. We'll stick with The Irishman. Originality is just where we talk about the creativity of the movie.
Did it need to be made?
Didn't need to be made. Does it stand out among his movies, among
the
other
genre
movies, the genre?
Like gangster movies? You go ahead and lead off.
So I give it a 6 out of 7. Pretty high for The Irishman. I just think that it's a really clever self-reflection on the movies that he made and a commentary on that, and it's a commentary on himself and the 3 lead actors or actually the 4 actors with Harvey Keitel, and how much they've aged over that time and what it really means to like lose this legacy and who holds the stories and stuff. One really clever thing that I love is the death descriptions. Whenever they show a character, they show how that character dies. And it's probably all based on reality in the book. I Heard You Paint Houses, but I think that it works in this because he shows you this is what this life is good for. See this guy, he's happy here. Well, guess what? He's going to get shot 4 times in the back of the head.
Boom, he's dead.
Yeah. Bing, pow.
Bing, pow.
Yeah. The father-daughter relationship is like shoehorned in, but it's incredible. Like I just talked about how good the writing is about like how the daughter chooses the 2 characters. I think the whole aspect of him, like him staying alive and keeping those stories even though everyone is dead and he won't admit anything to the cops and no one believes him, is really well done. I love the narration, and I think it's the way that they break the fourth wall in this works really well. It's hard to understate like how important this movie is to Scorsese's legacy. And I'm not talking about like this movie as a legacy. I'm talking about how creative and cool it was for him to make this. And so I think that is really original. And I think beyond everything, I can't stop thinking about the quote, "I heard you paint houses," because when you find out how fucked up that is, that Hoffa meets him by asking that, and then he paints his house with Hoffa's brains, is like the most tragic storytelling that Scorsese's ever done.
Yeah, but I don't know that, I didn't think it was very original. I gave it a 4 in this category.
Oh shit, we about to throw down.
I just don't, maybe I haven't seen enough Scorsese movies to
You haven't.
No, I definitely haven't. But like to understand truly why it's a commentary. I mean, we chose these two movies because of Scorsese's movies, Goodfellas is probably the one that he's commenting on the most with Irishman.
Sure. Definitely.
But like, is it really original amongst other gangster movies? It's just so sprawling and full of different information that I guess that's original. And like the Hoffa story,
I think it's the themes I'm talking about.
Is
like
original?
that it brought in those themes to what we are used to as a gangster story.
which themes?
The themes about aging, the like keeping the stories about which this one really shows the differences between what side you choose. Whereas Goodfellas, it's like, man, this guy keeps making more and more mistakes, and then in the end he gets away, in the witness protection program. This one is like, you have these clear choices, and he thinks he's this honorable man. It's like really well paired with Vito Corleone's story for the. You haven't seen Godfather Part 2, right? That's the.
I've read it though.
Yeah, but the story about Vito Corleone, like what Vito, it's like the difference between Vito Corleone and Michael Corleone in Godfather Part 2 is so incredible because it's like you do these violent acts, but it's like, what are you doing it for? Vito's doing it to protect his family and to like keep them safe. Which is the same thing as protecting his family. Michael does it because he wants power, and I really like that. That's what this movie is about. It's almost like Bryan Cranston. It's almost like Walter White, Frank Sheeran's life.
Okay. I guess that's original
Yeah.
for a gangster movie, but I don't think it's original.
I mean, I think you have a fair point.
I think
I'm
it's
just saying,
original
I think
for
that
a
they
movie.
add that into the gangsters. I think it's like a new iteration of it.
Yeah, okay, I can
the
see
best.
that, but like I gave them both the same score, so I gave Goodfellas a 4 as well.
Okay, yeah.
Because I don't think it's very original either, but it's obviously very good. I just don't think this is the category where I want to award it points. I don't think that they're like original movies. They borrow tropes from other like gangster movies, and like it's just they don't seem to be like super original, but they're not unoriginal to me. Like Goodfellas borrows from The Godfather and from Scarface, and having fun tales about mobsters is fun. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know that they're original. I don't.
No, I think that's a good point. I gave it a 5, so a slightly above average. I think that you have the right point because I think what I like about The Irishman is that it's taking these like deeper themes and adding it to a gangster story and just a life story. Whereas Goodfellas is like, I don't know what it's telling us about society or anything. I don't know how clever it is, like what it's adding to the genre, except for that it's iconic. Like this is
We're cooking our
his
pasta
attempt.
wrong. I
Yeah.
can tell you that.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I learned about
I-
society.
Yeah,
I let it stick to the pan.
I cooked
and
pasta
am
while I was watching it.
goofing.
And
Did
I
you
did
really?
it wrong, dude. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I think the structuring of the film is amazing. Like, I think it's really well handled, especially like how they speed it up in the end and like where it's going and how it just like kind of abruptly ends with Henry's life.
Yeah.
I think the character story in general for Henry is incredible. I think it's really creatively like subtle that it's really subtle how it goes, his like arc. And it's so cool how it's like a slow descent into turning him into a complete and utter druggy gangster sociopath, paranoid piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like he's a piece of garbage. I think we needed this movie. So I'm going to give it above average because I
Okay.
think we really needed this. It was Scorsese's take on the gangster genre. And we're going to talk in legacy. Like, I mean, this movie's iconic. I think the smoke and mirrors differences between the narration and what's happening is really cool. Like how Tommy is like, Henry believes that Jimmy's not going to kill that one guy that keeps bothering him.
Oh, yeah.
And then it happens right afterwards. And then later when they're like, and Tommy's about to be made, which basically makes us made. And we're like getting ready for this. And right then Tommy's like, oh, fuck. And then they kill him. And it's
murdered.
like, I love the way they do that. The thing I'm going to knock it for too is it's based off of a book, just like The Irishman. But I think
yeah.
it's based off of real life, and it just felt like he was just trying to make a cooler version of The Godfather.
Yeah.
It was like, let me take this story, but make it cooler.
I think it's sexy.
Also, the breaking of the fourth wall doesn't work in this. Like, the end where he breaks the fourth wall and looks at the camera and is talking about it, I was like, I don't like it. It didn't work for me.
Interesting.
But I love because the fourth wall had been broken from the start of The Irishman. And it's an old guy telling you stories about the shit that he kept in his head. That works. I love that. So, I don't know. That's a 5. Nick gave it a 4. Let's move on to our last category, legacy. Legacy.
There you go.
Hey.
What are we starting with?
Let's start with The Irishman.
Okay, so legacy is how this holds up in the genre. I think
And the history of
and
movies.
the history of movies, and I think that The Irishman will hold up.
Yeah.
I give it a 5.
Okay.
I think above average, it's going to have some sort of a legacy, if for no other reason than Scorsese released a film onto Netflix that's 3.5 hours long.
True.
It's critically acclaimed, but the knock here is that the legacy of The Irishman is greatly boosted by the legacy of Scorsese and his other movies like GoodFellas.
That's a great point.
It's a fun, is it going to stand by itself if Scorsese isn't, if someone else makes it, or if Scorsese isn't Scorsese and doesn't have GoodFellas in his I almost said discography. His videography. There you go.
Yeah.
It's a fun category to talk about between these two because Irishman is an extension of GoodFellas.
Yeah.
So
I think that's a great point.
it's interesting to talk about them. So I gave GoodFellas the nod here. I gave it a 6, and I gave Irishman a 5.
Okay. I realize that I take a very objective approach to legacy. I talk about how it's talked about and whether it will be talked about. Here's the thing. I gave it a 2 out of 7. And I really like this movie. I think it holds up for me. You know, it just came out, but I think that I'm going to think about the last third of this movie a lot. I already do. I felt really impacted by this movie. It made top 10 for me for 2019, and that was a tough year.
It's a good movie. I
think
don't think
people
my
are going to
ratings will
look back
reflect
at
as much
this
as good as it is. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I read that someone was saying, I think this is a mistake the way people are treating this movie, and we're going to look back and be like, look at that masterpiece by Scorsese.
I kinda
only
think so,
time's going to
too.
tell. And personally, I think I'll talk about it and rewatch it, but that's not everyone. Listen, it got nominated for a lot of awards. It got nominated for 10. It walked away with 0.
Yeah.
And this is Scorsese making a movie to kind of win awards. It just felt like an award type movie.
And then getting shown so many times.
Part of that is Netflix,
Yeah.
you know? Oh, yeah, and they got to show it all the time. I mean, it was talked about very highly by critics, but a lot of people won't watch this movie. And a lot of people came away being like, that wasn't worth it. You know, I disagree, but that's it. That's it. And the thing is, you're right. It will always exist on Netflix, and we're not. The benefit of putting it on Netflix, even though they spent $160 million on it, is you're just never gonna know if it hurt Netflix or not, because Netflix won't release that kind of stuff, and we don't even know how it works really.
No.
I don't know. I just think taking the objective approach. I think this is just it.
What was your rating?
Yeah, I give it a 2 out of 7 because it wasn't that well. It was well received by critics, but I think overall it's not that. It just didn't. It's not going to be that talked about beyond a few people that really loved it.
I kind of think it depends on where Scorsese goes next.
True. I mean, he could. It depends on all of them, but I do think
what if he makes another meta movie?
I just feel like I think you're right. I think people are gonna want to go back and watch GoodFellas more than they're gonna want to rewatch this or something. So
Yeah.
I don't know. So you said that you gave GoodFellas a 6.
Yeah, I gave GoodFellas a 6. The house that appears at the beginning of The Irishman is the same house that's in GoodFellas.
Oh, that's really cool.
I think that kind of says it all.
Yeah.
Not literally though, because I have more to say.
Nope, that's it. Nope, you're done.
And that's the end of our podcast. I think GoodFellas is probably the most fun gangster movie out there. I think that might have been what Scorsese was going for.
Yeah.
There are some other
Layer Cake.
Ooh, what's that one?
Daniel Craig, dude.
Oh, I gotta watch
Daniel
that.
Craig and Tom Hardy.
He's
So
my
good.
boy.
The Farmer
Like I said, it's not the most original. It's not the most epic, but I think it's the most fun, and it has some of the most meaningful and memorable acting performances ever.
Definitely. I give it a 7. I mean, I'm taking like a purely objective approach to this.
Yeah, I give it a
actually,
6.
no. Part
It's
of
not
it,
far off.
no, part of it is subjective for me because this is iconic. Like, this is one of the most beloved movies ever.
Yeah.
Everyone loves this movie. Some people think it's the best mobster movie. For people that don't like
my favorite
Godfather that much, like some people respect Godfather but don't like it that much, and they prefer Goodfellas. I think they're dumb, but it's like it's a preference thing.
I prefer it, but not for that reason.
I think it's like me and Alec, my roommate, we had just discussed like a few months ago. We were like, what's the most overrated movie for us? And like we both talked about Goodfellas because we were like, dude, people think this is one of the best movies ever. And like, I think there are better Scorsese movies. And I think that they're like Casino is better. But dude, I'm going to take that back because it's skyrocketed up my Scorsese list. I like it like 10 more times, 10 times more than I did. I'm going to watch it like 10 more times in my life, if not more. It was nominated for 6 Oscars and it won 1. I think it's fucking absurd that Scorsese didn't win Best Director for this. Scorsese has been nominated. Let's see. He's been nominated 9 times as director. He's won once for The Departed. He lost to Kevin Costner for Dances with Wolves.
Dude.
It won Dances with Wolves, won Best Picture, and it won Best Director this year.
Brutal.
It's so dumb. The only Oscar it won was Joe Pesci.
Man, all I can think of now is trying to figure out what the most overrated movie of all time for me is. So.
We'll talk about it. Okay. I think even with like the misogyny and racism, this movie ages well because it's about those characters. Like those characters probably were racist. They were fucking
and like it's not like
Italian
you're supposed to
mobsters.
like any of those characters.
Yeah,
in that
exactly.
movie, except for Karen.
So by the way, to keep everyone up to date, because they give you like a postscript at the end, Henry Hill died in 2012 and Jimmy Conway died in 1996. So they are no longer with us.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, so let's add up our scores. What did you give it? You gave it a 7. Okay, so that means for me, Irishman gets a 24.
Nice.
And Goodfellas gets a 29.
Out of 35.
Out of 35.
I gave Goodfellas a 30 out of 35.
Interesting. I thought you'd go lower than me.
I thought I would too, but this rewatch just
one of my
changed it
favorites.
for me.
Interesting.
The Irishman, which I really love, got a 21 out of 35. Which is fair for these categories, but it got kind of brutal. It's still one of my favorite movies of last year. So,
that's not how I thought that would shape up.
Yeah.
That was a weird one.
Combined, that's a 47 out of 70 for Irishman.
You could be making this up. I didn't add them up.
And a
45?
59 out of 74. Goodfellas. Good for you, Goodfellas. You're a great movie. You're one of our highest scored
What did you say
ones.
Irishman got total?
You said 26 out of 35.
24.
Oh, my bad. So, okay.
So 45.
45 out of
45
70.
to 59.
There you go. You win, Goodfellas. Nick, let's break down in our accolade section. Let's break down our top 5 favorite Scorsese movies. And, I mean, we'll specify, it's fair because a lot of people haven't, but I'm pretty sure you've seen like 7 Scorsese movies. But I think our lists are going to be different.
7.
I'm interested to hear this.
Okay. Did we put an order? Because I didn't really put mine in order.
I put mine in order. Go ahead and do it however you want.
Okay, so then you give me your number 5 first, and I'll put this in order.
My number 5 is Casino. Great film I think it's about Lucky Luciano. But it's Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci at the top of their game.
I put it in order.
Yeah.
I think I put it in order when I wrote it.
What's your number 5?
Wolf of Wall Street.
Interesting. Wolf of Wall Street is my 10th favorite.
It's probably one of the most overrated movies ever.
Definitely. I mean, it's that, if you want to talk about structuring, there's so much you could cut out of that movie and it'd be a million times better.
I think it's one of the most overrated
It's one of the
movies.
more
I still put it
fun
number
movies.
5, which definitely means that I haven't seen enough Scorsese movies.
I mean, no, the thing is about Wolf of Wall Street, it's like so fun to rewatch because every scene with the actors is so great.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work as a full movie for me.
Yeah.
It's a little messy. All right, my number 4 is a movie that you haven't seen but you would love, and it's called After Hours. It's a lot of people like After Hours and The Last Waltz as their favorite Scorsese's.
Interesting.
It's great. It's just about this guy who he lives in like New York, and he decides to go out late at night, and everything goes wrong. It's a really funny comedy.
Ooh.
What's your number 4?
Okay. Shutter Island.
Cool.
One that we've already done.
Yeah, my number 3 is Goodfellas.
Okay.
Fucking love Goodfellas. It's a great movie. I would have it higher were it not for my top 2.
Okay.
What's your number 3?
Gangs of New York.
Oh, that is like 11th for me.
Really? I really love that movie.
Have you rewatched it?
No, but I keep wanting to.
It's aged pretty poorly. But it is, I mean, Daniel
Julie won't watch it with me because it's too long.
Dude, it's still great. I mean, Daniel Day-Lewis is fucking incredible in it.
I know, but it's a commitment, and I love it.
Yeah.
At least the first 2 times I've seen it. Maybe the 3rd time I won't like it as much. I don't know.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, what's your number 2?
Number 2 is Shutter Island.
Okay.
We all know I love Shutter Island. Not as much as Jimmy, who gave it a perfect
Good.
score. But yeah. What's your number 2?
He directed Hugo?
Yeah. I like Hugo. Hugo was his love letter to film.
Interesting. My number 2 is The Departed.
Nice. That's my number 1, boy.
Is it your number 1? So it was almost
Dude,
my number 1.
I fucking love. I've seen The Departed.
It's pretty much a tie for me, but I put it number 2 just because that's what how I wrote this list, because my number 1 was Goodfellas.
Ooh, nice. Okay, so we had a pretty similar list.
What was your
number?
Oh, so your number?
My number 1 is The Departed. I love The Departed. I think it's one of his. I think it's his most complete movie.
You should see Silence.
Yeah.
No, you shouldn't.
Silence is on my list. I'm still gonna watch it because the cinematography looks great.
It's like beautiful, but it's like ugh.
So my honorable mentions. I have.
Okay.
I've seen 17 of his movies. I still need to see 6 of them. I think that's the right.
Yeah, my honorable mentions are Silence and The Aviator and
The Aviator's on mine.
Have I really only seen 7 Scorsese movies?
Did I call it on the dot? Oh man, that's great.
Oh man.
So my number 6.
Oh no, I've seen 8 because The Irishman.
Oh nice. Man, I was so close. The Irishman is my number 6. It really worked for me. Raging Bull, number 7 for me. Aviator, number 8 for me. Color of Money, number 9 for me. Great movie about pool. It's a follow up to what's it called when you hustle people? Oh, The Hustler or whatever. When you hustle people for, I think it's The Hustler. It's something with Paul Newman where he's a billiards player. And then Color of Money is the follow-up to that, and it's him and Tom Cruise, and it's amazing. It's so good. Dude. I love Scorsese movies. Not a single one I've watched is bad, but do you have any quotes that you didn't get to that you want to say?
I really like the quote. I really like the "I'm a good shot." What can I say? I'm a good shot.
Yeah,
because it's so messed up, dude.
So messed up.
It's like, dude, you shot him like 4 times in the chest. Like, you're not a good shot.
I love when the cop walks up to his car and he knows he's like, I knew it's the cops, and he goes, "If they had been wise guys, I wouldn't have heard a thing. I would have been fucking dead." Love it.
The police department for wise guys.
Yeah,
that's a good line.
That is a good one. I love the whole speech that the lawyer gives about rats. I didn't understand why they were called rats until that moment.
Do your Raul Silva impression.
No, the little rats. Yeah. All right. Do you have any recommendations for things that other people should see?
I wasn't thinking of this question.
I mean, I recommend the rest of the Scorsese movies I said.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to
probably watch all of them.
I recommend After Hours. It's great. It's so funny.
I'm going to watch it, dude.
Yeah, I think you would really enjoy it.
I wasn't thinking about the rec.
I'm going to recommend this again because this new watch of The Irishman made me want to rewatch this. Road to Perdition. You got to watch it.
Okay,
Sam Mendes just kills it.
Fine.
And then the other one is Miller's Crossing. The Coen Brothers gangster movie is really good. It's pretty. It's not that well known, but you should go check it out. Gabriel Byrne is really good in it.
Okay.
Next week, Oh, wait, did you have any other recommendations?
No, I don't. Go ahead.
Next week, we are finally going to do it. We're doing Clueless versus Mean Girls with Holla Annabelle Brown.
You nailed it.
Yeah, I
Crushed it.
killed it. She's really funny, so stay tuned for that. You can see Mean Girls. I think it's on Hulu right now. And the week after that, one of my best friends in the world, Alex Smoley,
that's the
is
week
coming
after
on
that?
the podcast, and he is doing MacGruber versus Austin
Oh,
Powers,
we're about to
International
get- we're about
Man
to
of
get
Mystery.
humorous.
It's going to be super goofy, so go watch all of those movies if you haven't already. You can follow us on social media. We are Instagram.com/facingoffpod, Twitter.com/facingoffpod, and facingoffpodcast@gmail.com if you want to send us an email so we can read it for everyone. Also, check out at the end of this episode, we're going to give you a promotion for the Movies That Molded Me podcast, which you should check out. And we are going to be on that on February 22nd.
First.
What? 21st?
I think it's the 21st.
Oh, I thought it was 22nd. Well, we'll be on there and we'll let everyone know.
Days.
Do you have a send-off?
I'm saying, to the best of my recollection, I must recall in my memory, I cannot remember.
Karen! Karen! Karen!
You're listening to the Fade to Gray Network.
Hey, these are the movies that molded me.
What's up, podcast listeners? This is Elizabeth.
And this is Chris.
What's going on? It's Omar here from Movies That Molded Me.
What is Movies That Molded Me?
It's the most fun podcast around.
It's a movie ranking game show where we take our favorite movies from a specific topic or genre and play against each other to create the definitive top 5 list.
Where can we find Movies That Molded Me?
So you can find us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And then if you want to follow us on our socials, you can find us at Movies That Molded Me on Instagram, Facebook at Movies That Molded Me, and Molded Me on Twitter.
Check it out. It's a lot of fun.
You need to listen to our show.